Hello YouTube, this is blah, blah, blah. Let me start over. Hello YouTube, this is Dawn from DaretoBeCreative, and I am here with my review of the Stitch Happy We Are Memory Keepers sewing machine. I showed you in the haul that I had got that and a whole bunch of accessories that go with it from Tuesday morning. I think it was the weekend before Christmas. I don't know, weekend of Christmas. I can't remember when it was. Like 2 weeks ago. Anyway, so I hadn't had a chance to do a review or to even play with it. Family's here, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I decided today, let me go ahead and try and see what I thought about it. So first of all, when you open it up, because this wasn't one of those HSN specials or whatever, it just came with the machine. It didn't come with any extra accessories, but I did purchase a lot of those, which I showed you in the haul. And I talked about some of those. Now, the machine itself is very lightweight, very lightweight. Almost, I know it's supposed to be retro, but it's almost like a toy machine. It reminds me of the one like you can probably get from Walmart for 20 bucks. So it's very lightweight. Now, the advantage of that is if you're not a strong person or you don't like lifting a lot of stuff, it's not heavy and it won't be as much strain as the average sewing machine will be when you have to lift it up. So this one, I guess, is very portable. If you want to take it to a crop or somewhere like that, you can get away with carrying this in your car and it won't be, I mean, my Cricut will weigh more than this, probably about the same. Well, yeah, it's not that bad. I mean, so maybe about the same, the Cricut. But to me, it's very lightweight. So if you need to carry it somewhere, that's portable. Now, with that lightweight, probably also means you got to miss some things. Now, the first thing I noticed when I took it out the box was it came with a little card, you know, just talking about some of the things, you know, make sure you read it before you use anything. So you want to read it, especially if you've never sewn before. Mine did come threaded with, well, you can't see it, and I apologize, but it came threaded with the bobbin, which is where, this is where the spool of thread or your bigger twine would go. And this is where you would actually refill your bobbin. But anyway, so it has a bobbin instead of a spool of thread, but you could, you know, same thing. And it had a spool of thread, a bobbin in here as well. I'm talking terrible. My tension was set to 3. And if you notice on the dial, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different stitches. 2 of which are like buttonholes, but you can't do those on paper. You have to do those on material. So comes with 2 plugs. Comes with this little teeny. This is so lightweight and toy sounding. I did purchase. I haven't opened it up yet because I'll tell you why. But this is the bigger foot one, and if you're gonna keep it, I would probably like that better. But you can get away with this. It just feels, if you're used to sewing, it just feels really toy-like, which makes the machine feel toy-like. Now, I haven't sewn in years. I started sewing when I was right before kindergarten. So I started sewing at 4 because my mom was an avid sewer. She sew her butt off, could make an outfit without, make her own patterns and everything. So I remember that's when I started sewing because I hadn't started school yet, and she was pregnant with my brother and she was sewing. So I started when I was 4. Got an expensive couple $100 machine when I was 8, and I sewed like continually every like week. I used to sew, make an outfit. Like my dolls were like the best dressed dolls. I, you know, had Pattern Simplicity all the way up to Vogue and Glamour, had the different types of patterns, and I used to sew, like I said, primarily doll clothes and stuff like that, but I did sew some stuff for myself. I sewed, so maybe from like 4 to about 16 I sewed all the time, and I have several different machines. Not several, but a couple different machines, as well as my mom's machine. And Singer was primarily our brand that we used because, you know, that was the main machines. And then I stopped, and then when I purchased my home, had my house, but different things that I wanted to alter my home, like I did cushions and stuff and things like that. So more industrial type stuff. But and I did do some curtains. But I really haven't sewn anything probably other than a hem in the last 10 years or so, maybe, other than a hem. I don't think I've sewn anything. But having said that, I'm familiar with sewing machines. I'm not an expert, but I'm familiar with them, so I know how they work. I know how you thread them. I don't know all the names of the parts, but I know enough about the tension and the threading and things like that, and what feels normal and what doesn't. So it does also come with a manual. And now, like I said, for somebody who's never sewn, who's intimidated by sewing, a lot of my friends are just, they won't even touch a sewing machine. It just scares them. I don't know why, but I think it just scares them, or maybe they're fearful of they so they're gonna go back and, you know, not work anymore and stay at home or something, be a home wife. I don't know what it is, but people are intimidated by sewing machines. But sewing machines are actually kind of fun. They're pretty cool. Now, I picked this up because I thought it would be great for mixed media. So I'm going to do my review in a couple parts. So I'm going to stop it and come back and do it. The first one is when I got this, I took it out and I went through the book just like it said. It's in English and it's also in German and French, I think, and Spanish. So it's in a couple languages. Yeah, French. Yeah, just French and Spanish. So English. So anyway, I went through it. So because I know some reviews came out mixed, I want to make sure I gave it a fair, you know, review. First thing I did was the tension, like I said, was on 3. And I noticed all the dowels. I wanted to check the needle size because reading the book, there's different needles, which I actually had purchased. So, and I wasn't sure if that was part of the problem that people were having, that maybe they had the wrong needle in, and that was the problem. So I had to pull it out and look at it, and the needle that came with it was a 9014. So if you go into your guide, at least that's the one that came with my machine, was a 9014. And it tells you in here what a 9014 can do. So you would not use baker's twine with this needle that came with the machine, okay? So that could be part of the problem that some of the people had. The 9014 is medium weight fabrics, and you can use like on cotton. So which is like this piece that came with it, this sample of the different stitches, okay? Now you see that it has a little bit of buckling, but when you do zigzag, sometimes there's going to be a little bit of puffing sometimes on that, but you'll see. So it came with a 9014. So with a 14, I wouldn't necessarily jump to putting baker's twine in there, because that's not the needle that goes with it. For baker's twine, you need one of the more industrial ones, which is a 21. So the needle that comes with the machine is not designed to use the metallic thread that they sold in Tuesday morning, or that came as an accessory with it, or the thin baker's twine that they had with it, okay? So these actually, the metallic is 18 and this is a 21, and this needle is a 14. So that's the first thing that you need to be mindful of, is that don't start this out on paper or with the different types of thread. This should be just done with regular thread. Now, having said that, I pulled out a piece of cotton because this is one of the materials that can go along with it. And before I started stitching, I checked my needle and everything, make sure everything was threaded and everything. And I noticed that my needle is off center. It is to the right. My needle should be in the center. So I was a little concerned about that. I'm not used to having my needle always to one side, but I wasn't sure if that's because of this design, and that was happenstance, something wrong with my needle or what. It did so. But I'm just used to it. For me lining something up, it should be in the center. Now granted, they do have these nice little guides, which is another thing that I wish I'd had when I was young, was these type of guides, because this can keep your material straight. And when you're making a seam, and you know, if you got a 1/2 inch allowance or whatever, and you're making a seam, this can guide you and buffer so that you don't go crooked. So that's one of the things I do like about that, especially for somebody who's new to sewing. Even if you're not new to sewing, that's handy, guys. So this moves up and down. It goes all the way up to 5.5. I guess 5.5 inches. Yeah, because it's in inches. So that can help you if you're making a hem. Now, for somebody who doesn't sew, this could probably be a great machine to just do simple stitching, a basic straight stitch, and hem something up. Now, you hear it, it's a loud machine to me. It makes a lot of noise, but I guess it's because it's supposed to be retro. I don't know. I noticed when I stitched on it, it made more sounds than this, a little hum that a sewing machine makes, because sewing machines do make sounds, but I think it was a little bit louder, a little bit more excessive. It does have a reverse button right here. You can press this down to reverse the thread. Has a light switch on the belt right here. 2 plugs. One is for the adapter to go into the wall, and one is for the foot pedal. If you're changing the needle, just unplug both of those. Trust me, you don't want to be accidentally hitting something and stab yourself in the hand. That's one thing I don't tell anybody, is take both the cords out when you're trying to change a needle. Your bobbin goes under here with the thread in it, and this is a little piece right here where you can cut your thread on it, and then in the back is your lift plate to lift the lever up right here so you can get your thread. Now I will show you what I did. So I was playing around with it. I had to move my tension down to 0, because when I first started out, my thread was popping. So Well, it only popped once, but then I realized I think maybe I didn't thread it right because I had taken my needle out to see the sides and put it back in. So I might not have did my catch with the side to make sure the bobbin was wound with it. So that could have been the reason why. Hello YouTube, I'm sorry. My disc was full. So anyway, back to my review. What I was saying was my grandson wanted to play, so I let him make some stitches and he was doing fine. My phone got a text message. I turned around to look at my text message, and the next thing I know was, hold on, my grandson, and again I unplugged the little piece on the side, did something, and I saw him trying to change this knob, which he was struggling with, and he did it a couple of times before, and then he'd stitch, stop, turn, and stitch, because you don't want to turn this and stitch at the same time. So I don't know if he did or didn't, but if you can see what happened. And so I don't know, it bent my needle totally. So I don't know if he was trying to do that or what. So that needle is totally like gone. Great. So I was in the middle of trying to finish my review. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to try the 18 and the 21. Now, what I just do with the book, according to the book, 18 is for metallic thread. So I'm going to put a metallic thread bobbin on and thread it, and then I'm going to come back and do 21. So I'm going to do that, and I still have my pieces not in the side. So this is $4.99 at Tuesday morning. Regular price is $9.99 for this set of needles, and it comes with 6. Now, so you get 318 and 321. Like I said, we're going to try the 18 first. And my grandson is going to come tell me something else. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. My daughter's out of town. I had to take that. Anyway, so I'm going to insert the 18. Now, I already unplugged it. Like I mentioned, you want to do that. And so right here, you just have your guide. You're just going to stick your needle in here. Now, one of the things, if you don't like, you can pull your needle, your thread down. Whoops, I'm sorry. Oh, totally forgot. I need to change my thread because we're changing this. Now that little black piece that I took off is like a little stopper. This little black piece that was up here to keep the spool, spool in place, but really it's keeping the bobbin, because this is a bobbin, not a spool. So I am going to, I only have one. Let me see, we're going to do, this is 18, so we're going to do metallic. So I'm going to use my gold, and we're going to use, that you can use on paper. So I'm going to use paper with that. And let's see how that goes. I just hate how this thread hangs all around. All right, so let's open up the gold. Let's take out this bobbin right here. Right now at Tuesday morning, these Stitch Happy threads, this is a gold one, it's $3.99, and I already gave you guys a SKU before in the last video, my haul video, which I'll link below in case you want to see all that for each one of these items, so you can kind of see me thread it. Now I'm gonna keep this thread whether I kept the machine or not, because you could always use this in crafting. And so actually it's a nice gray thread, gold one. Trying to find me a leaf, a piece on the top. Here we go. I found it. They always tuck a piece under. You want to find that one piece. And my nails are done, so you can't do anything. You get your nails done, I swear. Even though they need to be done again. My nails start growing out. I used to have long nails, and then I started letting them grow. Now I'm not used to having my nails growing back again, but these are my natural nails, and I gotta get used to them. Come on now, here we go. It's tucked under. right, so I'm gonna thread that up here. Now, just with any other thread, they're gonna have the tutorial in here. One of the other things that I would say that we are memory keepers could have done. Good gracious, I can't get my nails under here. I did all this off camera with no problem. So one of the things I would say, when they show you how to thread it in here, they put in words and then they put the numbers. It would have been simpler if you'd have had a picture of the threading part with the numbers and then show you how to guide through it, which they do, but you really can't see it in detail because it's just words. So sometimes when they do that, they need to really think about it. So you push it through here for tension, go around through here, go through that little hole, and you got to make sure that it's coming from the left side. Going down, go through your little catch right, whoops, your little catch right here. Okay, Lord, I can't get nothing going today. It's because I'm on camera. All right, now, I meant to mention this too. You do have a little side drawer on the side of this machine that comes with some extra bobbins, a needle threader, a brush, and some other needles in here on the side. And I just thought about that because I didn't mention it to you, but it's right here on that side. And I'm distracted at this moment because I've got so much going on in my house. Trying to do this tutorial. So anyway, let me get the bobbin out. Let me find my little piece. I see it right there. I can't pick up anything. Now me personally, reading these needles, it is easier if you put like some fingernail polish on it to color your needle, so you know what it's for, unless you have, you know, some beautiful eyes that can see everything. My grandson was struggling trying to read the numbers. He could read them, but I'm just saying, they tiny. Lord have mercy. Gonna take me all day probably. Here you go, right here. Come on. Get this piece unthreaded. The other thing I would say too, just FYI, if you sew or decide to sew, buy you a pair of scissors that is strictly for sewing. Do not ever cut paper and material with the same pair of scissors. You know, I ruined my mom's scissors a couple times when I was a kid. My mom used to buy really expensive scissors and cut paper, but that's one of the first things they tell you in sewing, that you have to have designated scissors for material, and you never use it on your paper. This is not loose. Crap. And I hate to go take a razor blade and cut all this thread up just to get this piece out. Let me come back because I don't want you to sit here and watch me all day trying to get this thread loose. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I finally got a thing loose. I dropped it in. Now, you can better see because it's dark too. Anyway, my camera. But anyway, I'm going to slide the thread through the little, I don't know what the technical term is called, groove something. Set the plate back up here. Alright, now, I just took the courtesy of using some fingernail polish on mine. You can't even see it, and it's okay, you don't need to see it. But I just put some silver because I didn't have any gold right here. And then I put some orange on the 21s, and I was trying to put some gold on this to let me know my baker twine. So if you can't go back and read those numbers and stuff like that, or you're trying to find it real quick, if you color code your needles, I don't put it anywhere that's going to impede its ability to sew. So I wouldn't put it at the tip or at the head. I just put it in the middle. So whatever color you choose to color coordinate them. So these are all my 18s would be colored silver. So I know that they go for metallic thread. And then my it's interesting because this needle looks like it's too freaking long to get in there. Hold on. No, it wasn't. Get ready to say. Alrighty. That way when I go back I don't have to keep trying to find the size on it. I just know the color. And so my color ones would be colored like the Baker twine. So like this one, if you can see that, has orange. I just put an orange dot on it because that's the color of twine colored. And then the regular needles that you do regular thread on, I wouldn't color those because you know that would go with red. All right, yeah, I did old school. I licked it. Because this thread always, that's the only thing about twine, I mean metallic thread. This thread always splinters. Oh, I hate it splitting again. Please don't split, go through. I swear, if I wasn't on tape, I wouldn't have as much problem. But because I am up here trying to do a review. But the good thing about that is, you'll see what I'm struggling with. And see if you want to struggle. Okay. Got it in. Come on, don't mess it up, fingernail. Alright, so once you thread your needle through, whew, you're going to use your handle over here, your big knob. You're going to thread it a couple times because you want it to catch. There you go. The bobbin under the bottom. Pick that thread up. You lift the needle up. Put your thread through. Trying to feel that little tension right there. And a knot. I hate that. Alright, anyway. So now this one, according to this, when you use the needle 110/18, for paper tension, it should be between a 4 and a 6. I'm going to try some paper this time, first time. I'm going to put my lever down. I'm going to move this up to the lowest number, which is a 4, since I already know there's some struggle. There's a little guy right here, a little arrow. So you line the number up with it, and mine is 4, and it goes from 0 to 10. And my little hand sores right here. Oops, I gotta plug it back up because I plugged it. I was changing the needle. Get the light back on. Okay, what's the problem now? Oh, didn't have it. No, what's going on? Oh. Okay, let's try a different tension. Looks like it's doing okay. Okay. The tension actually looks good for paper. I'm actually impressed. I wasn't going to do that well of a job on paper, because paper is a lot trickier than material. So you can cut with scissors, or you can come right here. But I do notice, see that? Let me see. Okay. All right, that actually sewed very well on paper. So again, I would suggest anybody, I'm sorry, the lighting is horrible. So the stitching, if you can see that, that's the reverse. It did nicely, and I did that on a tension 4. I didn't think it was going to do that well. Let me see some of the other stitches. And again, this is with the metallic, but I think you just have to make sure you check the right needle. All right, so let's try the second one. Oh, I did the second one. Let me go to the zigzag. You can't do the buttonhole on paper. It's just going to rip your paper up, so just be mindful of that, because paper is not made for buttonholes. Now, you know what I haven't tried? Let me go backwards and reverse first. Well, no, I don't want to go backwards on this one. Let me lift my needle up. Go this direction. And let's see, I didn't try the scallop. Okay. So, I'm going to say, I don't like pulling the tension to pull this out right here. Okay, see, it will rip my paper right now. And it shouldn't. There we go. Maybe I'm not putting it right. Something. Really? All right. Now, that's the, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? The zigzag and the scallop. And that's the B side. Now, that's when I yanked it. So just be more careful when you're pulling it out. But I'm impressed that it did that good of a stitch on paper. So that's kind of interesting. I didn't think it would do that. I'm going to see the scallop a little bit more. Which other one? So I did everything but the buttonholes, because you're really not supposed to do buttonholes on paper. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one am I missing? Oh, the other zigzag. I think I didn't do this zigzag. Oh, paper came, my needle came loose. This thread, the only thing, I mean, it's the thread itself. Metallic thread is a bear because it splinters. It's just like twine, it can be a bear because it splinters. They're wrapped around itself. Alright, now, well, let me lift this up. Let me reconnect this up and down a couple times. So I saw it catch. Yes, I did.
You're in the video?
Yes, I'm in the video, honey.
Hey, hi guys.
But you know what? This catches a knot, though. I must say that it catches a knot when you're threading it, and it really shouldn't always do that.
I didn't know that.
You just want to be, but you have food on your mouth. You got chips on your mouth, or whatever you're eating. I got it.
It's going crazy.
Put the needle
Can I see
down.
that pink one I made?
I showed them already. When you made
It's messed up.
I showed you how the needle got broken.
No, stop.
Okay, so again, that's good to see how this pulls out. You have to, the tension is tight when it comes to pulling, so you need to make sure that you are very,
I'm back.
yeah, that part I don't like.
Now they can't see me. They only can see your arms.
Oh, I know, and that's okay. I'm just trying to show when you get my way. So it does, it's a little tight there with the thread as far as pulling it out. But the stitching itself actually came out really nice, and it didn't tear my paper as far as where the stitching should go.
Let me see more.
Okay, baby.
Ooh,
So
I like it.
that is with the metallic. Now I am going to change up the needle and the thread, and we're going to try it with the 21. So that was the 18 needle. And if you look on the back of the thread, it does give you their pressures and their suggestion of the tension and what you can use it with. So I'm going to change this needle. And where's my needle case? Put that needle back in there, and oh, there it is. I'm gonna cut this off, unpeg it. I'm gonna unscrew this needle. See, the thread breaks too easily. But that's metallic thread does it a lot, so I'm not necessarily overly shocked by that. So anyway, I'm gonna put this back into its container because you don't want to have a needle laying around. For obvious reasons, you don't want to step on that sucker. And let's try the 21, right? Yeah, this is the 21, and this one is supposed to be, whoops, for Moria Baker's twine. So let's move the bobbin out. I must say this bobbin was a little tricky to get in there. I think it's because it was full of my nails. I don't know. But it was easy to get out. Okay, great. Let's put the Baker's twine one in. And I don't know if it's because these bobbins are so full, but I felt, or it's because of my nails, but I felt like They are full bobbin, so now I got thread coming loose at the bottom. I hate that, because I can make a loop in my bobbin. Crap, I was ready to do this video. My bobbin is coming loose, so that's gonna be an issue. Yeah, I had to cut that. I ain't got all day. It's too full, and this is gonna probably cause a notch. Great. It's not a good thing. They have two endings. I ain't bobbing, because now it's gonna be a problem. But anyway, because this won't go in here easily, I'm gonna thread it through here. All right. Yes, I'm just looking at it because this thread is coming out loose. This is why it's hard to do live videos.
Huh? It's hard to do live videos?
No, honey. Nothing.
They can't even see my tool. Well, somehow they can't see my tool.
Why do they need to see your tool?
I was just putting it there.
I know.
I didn't know they couldn't see it.
I'm just threading this needle.
Needle.
Not the needle. Threading the machine.
Threading the machine. Apple candy. I hope it's not in your video, because I don't want to mess it up.
Huh?
I hope it's not in your
What's
video.
not in your video?
I don't want
You can
this.
look on the machine. You can look up there and see.
I can't see because of your hands. Apple candy.
I need some more scissors, because these scissors are so dull.
You was going to say go.
Dull.
What's that mean, girl?
Not sharp. Opposite of sharp. Okay.
Apple
So it's threaded through there.
Dun, 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 dun.
Lift it under. Put my plate back on.
Apple candy.
I've been down a couple times.
Hey,
I'm videotaping.
you put this on your dresser. Can you hold this phone?
Alright.
$60.
So put that right there. Okay. So now this
You hear me?
one.
That's 60 and
I said I heard your videotaping.
Okay, $60 and $10.
And then we're gonna do this one should be paper. Let's see. 21.
Mom,
What,
I love
baby?
you.
I love you too, honey. We can do denim and paper. Let me try this denim paper.
okay.
Oh, not the machine though.
What do we need for the string?
So this is a piece of denim paper.
Why'd you cut
So-
off the string?
No, I didn't. Anyway, let's try it with, start with a straight stitch. And the tension, it says between 3, 4, and 5 for paper, 4, 5, and 6, and then 3, 4, 5 for fabric. So let's just try it on the 4. Plug it back in. Okay, didn't move. No, it's not moving. The paper is not moving. It's stuck in one spot.
There's a hole in the back.
And you can't, you just get, I'm gonna pull it that way, guys. Okay.
This is fast. It's flowing really fast, Mossy. Quick.
Hold on, let me do this. Let me try this again. Let me try and change the tension. but that's just weird it didn't move. Let's go down to 3. Okay, what did the thread broke or something? Because that's coming out. Just put hose.
Fire, fire.
It's still threaded, but not enough thread.
Fire the cannon. Pew, pew, pew.
My fingernail polish came off.
Ah.
Are you a boy?
No.
Okay. Gotta cut this thread again.
Hello.
Don't knock the camera over.
Turn the photo.
This is real time, folks. Really
Time.
real time, real mess.
Real time.
But you know, you can kind of see what your struggle might work on.
Yeah, you need to pull it out. You want me to pull it in there?
Hmm.
Yeah, after you push it in there, do you want me to pull it in there? Pull it?
See if I can get it in there.
Want me to do it? Want me to do it, Mom?
Hold on. That's only because I'm on this camera. If I wasn't on camera, I don't have no problems. I'm like, why am I having a problem doing anything today?
Maybe that's when I'm talking.
Because you're talking? No.
No.
How about me? It's just because.
Why you didn't cut that?
I know. That's okay.
Do you want me to do it for you?
Sure.
Okay.
Alright, got the twine in there. Jeez.
Scissors.
Lift the foot. Take up. Wait a minute.
The scissors.
Thread it through a couple times. Get it to. Oops, sorry.
Oh my God.
Sorry. I'm trying not to finger flash off. Alright. So they should be twined, intertwined together. Let's try this one more time. Okay, you might have to move that out the way. Because I'm. Get back a little bit. I don't know about that. Still not. It's not connecting. Why isn't it not getting mine? Great. I'm not getting to catch the pumper out where I was not catching a minute ago. I sure did all that. Now this one didn't light up like the other one, but it still didn't catch. That didn't catch. So what is the problem? Okay, you're supposed to catch. You're just threading around like you're catching, but then when I go to sew,
I did it for you.
okay.
I did it for
Thank you,
you.
sweetie. This is not
Oh,
enough.
nice and neat.
Wow.
It's just like an L. It's just like an L. Excuse me, Mom.
It's still not catching. So, which means it's not gonna.
Connect, right?
Right. Wow. That is really weird.
I know a little bit about crafting.
They use your car I'm about to go to my job. Gotta go. I got pain.
Okay, this is like a million interruptions. Anyway, that's the last one. So, I did that stitch. Let me try another stitch. And then let me try zigzag. Try this zigzag. convinced on that stitch. Oh, okay. Maybe just want to transition. Let's do the scallop. I'm making this go crooked, but okay. See that tension right there? Look at that. You can see how it's knots in there, and I don't know why. The tension was fine, but the thread, is bobbling up right here at the needle, and it's about to pop. So I would have to cut that and start that over again. So what is my impression? Now, I did a stitch on this paper, this denim paper that I got, DCWV. Yeah, it actually, I'm sorry, I'm way over there. Yes, it did. It says it can hold up to do 3 pages of paper. So what my ranking would this be? It's not a difficult machine to use. It's not the most sturdy machine either. I'm not gonna say I'm in love with it. I'm not gonna say I hate it. For its purposes that I would use it for, you know, I have to play with it a little bit more before I make my final decision. I've been distracted. My grandson is here, and my son, everybody's over here, and trying to do stuff. I had to keep stopping and starting. No, just let me finish. So anyway, I need to play with it, but there are some definite issues. The tension, as far as like this, didn't bother me. It's the thread itself, because it keeps knotting up. Usually, the indication of tension issues is the puckering of the paper and ripping your material or things like that. But it can also be some of this as well. But you can also reduce it. But I didn't feel like it was snug or tight. It didn't feel like it was pulling. Usually when I got high, you can feel the when you're trying to move the paper, it's really tight. I didn't feel that. So I did initially when I first started with the first needle with the black thread, the regular black thread, and I moved it all the way down to 0, and then it was fine. So I'm not going to say I'm 100% in love with it. I'm not going to say I totally hate it. I do think I need to play with it a little bit more. I do prefer my needle to be in center. I don't like it being off center with my foot, pedal foot. I don't know if they made it that way or if something that's supposed to be differently. I haven't seen anything about that. That's just me. But I don't like how my thread gets tight. I don't know. But anyway, we'll have to see. I'm going to try a little bit more things with it and see. I didn't open up. I do have this paper set. I haven't done anything with that yet because I was trying to decide if I wanted to open it up or take that back. And I haven't used the pressure foot. And that was $6.99. Again, you can check my haul out for that. You can get away with this little pedal. You don't have to buy this. But if I'm going to have it on the floor, I do like to have a bigger pedal, but I'll see. So I'm going to try around with it a little bit more, maybe give a little bit more feedback. But again, those are some of the issues. It does work well on paper once you get it to work. My suggestion is just to make sure that you check the correct needle. You have to make sure you have the correct needle. And I think that was some of the things that people took right out of the box and started trying to sew on different stuff and it wasn't working. I think that may be part of the problem. The only issue I'm really having right now is it catching and the thread not knotting. The stitches are fine. As far as all I did on these 3 different, what's the pink one? On regular thin paper, and it didn't tear my thin paper, so that I was impressed with the right needle. And this one's with the multimedia needle, and it didn't tear that up. Once I got it to catch with the Baker twine, it sewed it and it didn't tear it up. And then on the pink one, wherever that piece of material, the cloth went, it did those regular stitches just like this. So I haven't actually tried the buttonhole. I mean, I did the stitch for the buttonhole, but on material, but I didn't actually cut it, you know, out and everything. So that's my preliminary view, and this video is getting kind of long, so I'm gonna have to come back on another video and make some with the cards and stuff like that. But again, my first thing is that if you are having some problems, check the tension, but also check the needle. It could be the needle that you're working with, because the needle that came with the machine was only designed for regular material. I mean, regular needle thread, the kind that you would sew your pants with. So it wasn't made for paper. So that may be part of the problem. So you definitely want to get some of these mixed media needles. They feel like standard needles to me, so I would imagine you can go to any sewing store and get those. So the 110/18s are for the paper, I mean metallic, and then the 110 and the 130/21s are for the thicker materials like denim and things like that. So it does say in the book that you can stitch up to 3 pages. So if you're making like a journal or traveler's notebook or something like that, you can stitch it to 3 pages. So just be mindful of that. Don't try to do anything more than that. You might break your needle. And again, I don't know how my grandson broke the first one. If when he was turning it, he might have been hitting the pressure button. I just happened to check a text message and missed that totally, and it bent the needle. I'm glad it didn't splinter. But if you sew, you know, that's a risk with sewing. Sometimes you do break needles. But I'm going to play with it a little bit more and then try it out and see with the I think I'm going to probably open this up and see what I make with it and see how I like it. But that'd been a separate video. But anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully if you got it, you know, you can let me know your thoughts, what you thought of it. Again, this is a machine that designed more for a beginner, so it's not as complex, I think, as some machines. You know, it's a little noisier to me than some machines, you know. I didn't check the reverse, but the feet went backwards, so it should go backwards. Let me check that right quick. That's one thing I didn't check. Oh, my thread is on thread, never mind. But anyway, but this is a pressure foot that makes it pushes it backwards if you want to back up into a stitch. But so the stitches are fine. You know, you just check your tension and play around with it. But the tension that is said with the right needles did work. I'm just having an issue with it catching somewhat. And I don't know if it's because my bobbin is too full or if it's the thread itself. So I'll use it a couple more times and let you know. So anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for liking, thanks for taking care, and I dare you to be creative. Happy New Year.